Alright. Part 2. RWBY Grimm Eclipse. Ain't this exciting.
Another area, another security network in need of repairs. Keep an eye out for any clues about who did this. We're all counting on you.
I mean, we could really set the mission up differently so we don't have to do another defending thing at the end. This makes the second mission in a row where the last part is a defend. Like what? Really hope that the last part of every mission is not a defend. Because again, the only two missions I know what happens in them is the first mission and this mission. I have not played the third mission or any other mission after that. I don't even know how many missions are in the game.
These are more dangerous than the Grimm you fought before. When it sees you, it will spin before it charges. While it's spinning, dodge out of the way. It will be disoriented after it passes you. That's when you strike.
So basically, Sonic as a Grimm? Yeah, Sonic as a Grimm. Cool. Be nice. All. Chill out. Yes, I'm making horrible puns. They sully around ice. Exactly what you would have expected last time. And that weird all in between the things is Arnold Schwarzenegger reference. You know, referencing that one Batman film that we should never talk about ever.
Goodbye. And done.
This mission is... I've already gone through it only once, so I'm not as
What do we have here?
good with it, especially with those boar. I guess it's a type of animal they're based off of. I'm not so good against the boars. So this mission's actually on normal. The first one was on hard, which I think is why that video was so long, because I kept losing. This one's on normal. It shouldn't be hard. I mean, it's on normal, so of course it wouldn't be hard. Or else it'd be on hard mode. Ha ha ha. Ha 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 ha. Ha. I could do... I don't really know what much to talk about. Last time I just kind of rambled about different
I know
things.
it's a stretch, but maybe you operate that mechanism to extend the bridge.
But, oh, I forgot to mention, every time they talk, I'll try not to talk. The characters. So you can get the story anyway. So, last time, I didn't even talk about my thoughts on the character of Yang. So I'm gonna talk about my thoughts on each character as I play as them.
And seems to attract some breath. Happy hunting.
Not like how they play in-game, I mean, like the characters themselves. And like, in the show and whatnot. Before I do that, I shall mention that even though it has literally been a day, every character is now a level 10. I've already managed to get everyone level 10. I've owned this game for like 3 days now, and everybody is now level 10. goes to show you I really have nothing better to do. Anyway. Oh, that was absolutely disgusting. Yay, wave 3. I didn't even notice that I was past any of the previous waves. Wait. So now to talk about the character of Wiess and my thoughts upon her. The Volume 1 really did not like Wiess all too much.
Just a little longer.
In Volume 1, she was just stuck up, snooty bitch. It's what she was. Literally how her character was. Volume 2, she was slightly different personality-wise. She was a bit better. This time had slightly passed between the two volumes. So she got more used to her team. So being around them changed her personality a bit, I guess.
That's why they call me the Ice Queen.
So she was... I liked her better in Volume 2. And then Volume 3, she was even better. And it was interesting to see her interaction with Winter, who, from the sounds of it, most likely will reappear in Volume 5, which is pretty cool. Anyway, so I like Wiess's personality in Volume 3, which is my favorite volume. And then Volume 4, the thing is, so from Volume 1, you can describe her as basically rich bitch. Volume 2, you can describe her as friendlier rich bitch.
This looks interesting.
Volume 3, you can describe her as not that much of a bitch, but still kind of a bitch. And then Volume 4, clearly the ending events of Volume 3 had some some form of effect. So her, after everything in Volume 3 she's gone through, going back to Atlas, surrounded by people who don't fully understand everything that happens outside of Atlas. So, it's rather interesting. Speaking of which, I was kind of very much disappointed with Wiess's story, because it's like, sure, they had to try to tell the story of all 4 of the main girls. Well, all of them are in different locations, so it's harder for them to do so and show everything.
Goodbye.
Which was... Why do I keep burping? It's kind of upsetting. Because I thought it would be cool to see her go into town and hang out with, like, Team Funky, who we've only seen 2 members of, which is Neon and Flint Cole. Would have really liked to see what the other members of that team are. Would have been cool. Speaking of cool, Volume 4, no signs of Team Coffee. They probably won't be in Volume 5. I want Team Coffee back. They are the best team. They are awesome. Not to mention that one of their team members, Fox, which is an odd name. I don't even think he's a Faunus. He might be. I don't know everything about them. But they're still awesome. Their team member, Fox, he is blind, yet he still kicks ass. Like, how? Like, that's the kind of stuff I'd like to know more about. Like, if they could give them... Why is there... Seems like there should be a fight right here, but there isn't. What? If they could give Team... Like... So I'd want to know more about Team Stark, but I also want to know more about Team Coffee. And I know it sounds weird, but I'd prefer if they did a spin-off series surrounding Team Coffee more than a spin-off series surrounding Team Stark. I know that's weird, but I like Team Coffee. They're my favorite team. Oddly, though, my favorite character is not a part of their team, but as like a team dynamic. Just their style and way of doing things is cool. They come in, kick ass, leave. That's all they need to do. I realize I got sidetracked from talking about Wiess. And I'm already at the ending part of the level. Which is, guess what?
Just as I thought, more sabotage from our friend with the symbol. But those cages... Was someone trying to capture Grimm? I don't like the looks of this. For now, let's just focus on the objective. Defend that control center while I undo the damage. Get ready.
More waves and defending. Okay, seriously, are any of these missions gonna end with us attacking a thing instead? That would be neat. Or multiplayer mode, where like 4 people play as huntsmen or huntresses. There's only 2 huntsman characters, which is Jean and Ren. Everybody else is female character. So you consider that's 8 characters. That's 6 female characters and only 2 guy characters. Which, I mean...
We're a quarter of the way there. Keep up the good work.
Actually, when you look at RWBY, there's a lot more female characters that we see do things. Nifty thought. I just want Team Coffee, alright? That's all I want. It's really what... Like, if you listen to the soundtrack of this game, you can hear their theme song just remixed into a background battling theme. It sounds cool. The more I hear it as I play, the more I just want them in the game. The series should be called RWBY Grimm Eclipse, and me ranting about Team Coffee not being in the game. That's I ranted about it last time, ranting about it again. It would just be great if Team Coffee was in the game. I gotta finish my thoughts of Wiess for the end of the level. So... I'm assuming she'll be interesting in Volume 5. She'll probably... Next time we rejoin her, she's probably gonna be with her sister, Winter, and they might do training. We might come in during a moment of them training, which... I'm not sure if you can hear it, with the music in the background. It's Team Coffee's theme song, Caffeine, which... I mean, you have a team named Coffee, so why not make their theme song Caffeine? I'm sorry I keep getting sidetracked, but my favorite team, and they're not in the game. Although I'm half convinced that Team Sun would be more likely than Team Coffee. Because at the moment, Team Coffee isn't really that relevant in the story. But since Sun Wukong is still playing a role in the story, that means his team is technically more relevant, even if it's just him at the moment. Although, let's be honest, eventually the rest of his team is probably going to rejoin him. Oh boy, I am taking damage from the weakest types of enemies. I really just want Team Coffee back. I can't express that enough. Again, back to closing thoughts on Wiess. If I had to rank her, like, in the top 10 style, she probably wouldn't make the top 5 part. Nothing fully against her, it's just I don't like her character as much as I like other characters. Like, I feel like she would be on the list if I did a top 10 of the characters.
Good show, team! I've just received a report. That's right! The symbol we've been seeing belongs to Merlot Industries. It's an old research and development corporation, far before your time. The company was crippled by the collapse of Mountain Glen, where they lost their primary facility and chief staff members. They never recovered from the incident and eventually shut down. Which begs the question, why is their technology suddenly popping up in the Emerald Forest? I've never been one for riddles and history. More of a man of action, if I do say so myself. But I think I know someone who can help. Onward to victory!
Form.
I don't even remember what I was saying. So I guess technically that's it. I mean, I know who I'm playing next. I'm not gonna say it now. But I know who I'm gonna play next in The Collapse, which is the next mission name. I didn't mention what the first mission's name was, but you probably, if you have the capability of reading, you could see it. Which was Boots on the Ground. So this means I have now played 2 missions and have gone through 2 characters. That leaves you with like 6 characters to guess who's next. If you feel like guessing. It's really up to you. Anyway. So I hope Shini becomes even more interesting next volume. Because at the moment, she's probably... She doesn't... If I was to do a top 10, she wouldn't make the top 5 part. She'd be on the list, but she wouldn't make the top 5 part of the list. At the moment. But I feel like the more time we get with her character, and more over time she evolves, the more likely I'll be to like her character. I mean, I don't hate her character. It's just I don't enjoy her character as much as I enjoy other characters. Like Team Coffee. I'm gonna keep bringing them up. This is why I wouldn't do a top 5, 10, I don't know. How many teams in RWBY do we even know? This is why I wouldn't do a list about teams in RWBY, because it'd be obvious that Coffee is number 1. Even though they haven't had as much screen time. But that just makes them even cooler, because they don't need that much screen time to show off how awesome they are. I want Team Coffee in the game. Why won't they give me that? Okay. Keep rambling about that. I'm gonna have to stop myself from rambling about my want for Team Coffee in game. Because if I keep rambling about it, I will go insane. Speaking of which, I could go for some coffee about now. Speaking of coffee, apparently that's what Wiess drinks more often, which kind of odd. I mean, you look at Wiess, you would expect tea, but no, coffee. Blake is the one who's for tea, which is kind of odd. I mean, not really. You think both of them would be people who drink tea, just like their characters. The fact that Wiess drinks coffee. I bet she drinks Starbucks. That seems like her kind of brand. I have literally just been sitting on the screen for who knows how long. Because I don't know how to end things. Every time I just end it abruptly. That's just how I am. I don't got an outro. So I guess this was part 2. Part 3 next time. Maybe tomorrow. Maybe next week. Maybe whenever the fuck I feel like it. Yeah. I literally have no outro. Bye.